Hi everyone, Janey here. Welcome back to my garden and welcome to the September back garden tour. I've already done the September front garden tour. I will link that video in the description down below. I am so excited to show you the back garden though, because this is where we've really been putting a lot of our time and energy and focus the past month. And a lot of it has been some gardening stuff, but a lot of it has been gardening adjacent, which is kind of everything that you need to run a garden smoothly. Garage stuff, tool stuff, product stuff, organization, all that kind of stuff. So I'm really excited not only to show you, but I'm excited to have it done for myself because it's something that I desperately needed. Let me show you. Okay, so I'm gonna get started over here by the metal workshop. And a lot of you probably are wondering why I'm starting over here for a back garden tour, but that is because this is where Jason and I have been putting so much time and energy and effort in the past month. And we have focused on organizing and beautifying this metal workshop. This metal workshop was a huge bonus for when we saw this house because we are gardeners, we have a lot of gardening supplies, and we also have a family. So we have another garage with all of our family stuff, and now this metal workshop is dedicated to woodworking supplies, gardening supplies, irrigation, tools, all that kind of stuff. So I wanted to first show you with the garage doors closed, the 3 pots that I planted up in front of the garage doors. And I wanted them to be fall themed pots. I obviously am going to change them out for every season. I got these arborvitaes here, which I think are going to be perfect. They're going to be able to handle the heat. We've got them hooked up to drip, so they're gonna be fine with water. And then underneath I planted a whole bunch of really, really beautiful fall themed plants. I have this dark Ipomoea here, and this is probably going to be good until probably mid-November for us, so I still have some time to enjoy this. I have Wicked Hot Coleus from Proven Winners that's absolutely beautiful, and it's starting to color up. I have Wicked Witch Coleus that I just think the edge plays so well with the arb right there. I have some mums that are starting to come out and bloom and make me so happy. And then I have this Tangerine Punch, oops, sorry about my shadow, Tangerine Punch Calibrachoa right here, Super Bells, that is just the epitome of fall. And then one of my favorite new plants is this Toffee Twist Carex. I just think it's so interesting and weird, and it has such great texture to it. I never gave this plant enough credit, but now that I see it in my containers, I think it just adds so much to the containers, and I think I'm going to be using it a lot more. So these 3 containers, I think I got them at, a lot of you asked me who are local, where did I get them? The Pottery Outlet, they're right on 80. They're right on the 80, like just past Vacaville, I'm trying to think of, just west of Vacaville, I would say, is where I got these at. And they're beautiful containers. I love the terracotta. I love the foliage. I don't know what you would call that. The little decor on them. I just think that they're so pretty, and I'm just so excited to have them. So can't you imagine, in fall, in winter, I'm going to take out all the fall stuff and put maybe some greenery, I don't know, something really pretty for winter. And then in spring, obviously I can plant these up with something pink and beautiful and wispy underneath the arbs. And I just think it's going to be beautiful. Okay. Let me show you the metal workshop. We still definitely need automatic garage door openers. That is on the list. But let me show you a before shot of what this metal workshop looked like and what an absolute mess it was. It was, for the past year, it's kind of been a landing place for everything. We kind of will just put it in here to protect it from the elements and then kind of forget about it. So the first thing we did was clean it all out, and we painted the whole thing white, which made the absolute biggest difference in the entire world. It was such a good choice to paint everything white, including the metal, including up in the ceiling, above the rafters. And I'm so glad that we did that, because it used to be like a dark hole in here and you wouldn't be able to find anything unless you turned on the lights. And it was so frustrating. And now that it's white, it just kind of reflects the light. So, you know, you still need light sometimes, but no nowhere near as much as I did before. Like right now, I don't have any lights on, and I can see even in the darkest corner back there, you can still see absolutely everything. So painting it white was the first step. Then we organized. We went through and I picked out my most used tools that I wanted front and center. And that's what this wall is. This wall is all of the things that I grab the most in when I'm gardening, and they have a home now, they have a place that they live, and I know exactly where I want to go. If I want to grab my twisting plants, they're right here. All of my gloves are here. All of my small tools are here. You know, my shovel's right there. And this to me makes gardening so much more enjoyable, because for the past year, I've kind of been running around like, where's my rake? Where's my, where's my loppers? Where's this? And now I know where everything is. So I can focus on gardening and not finding everything that I need and wearing myself out, walking around the property, finding where we put, I don't know, the hodag or something like that. This is the hodag right here. If you guys don't know about this tool, it's a fabulous tool. I love it. I'll link it in the description down below. Then over here, we did a whole bunch of shelves. The other big project that we did this past month is we did like a little redo of the kitchen. Not a little. It made a huge difference. We took our top cabinets out, and instead of trashing them, we hung one of them up here in the metal workshop. And I'm so glad that we did that, because now I have storage for a bunch of my products. And this isn't completely organized yet. Like, I'm still thinking about exactly how I want to organize it, but at least everything has a home now, and we know exactly where it needs to be. What I need to do is I need to label everything. I am a labeler big time. And I really, truly think that once you label something, that's where it lives. And now all of a sudden it has a home. And so that thing is going to be able to be picked up and cleaned and put away so much more easily than if it doesn't have a home. So that's the one thing that I still need to do with these cabinets. We have all of our drip irrigation over here, tree stakes and whatever you call these, wraps, stuff like that. And then all of our products that we use all the time. And it just makes it so easy to have it right here and not worry about it. I'm so happy, you guys. I know this isn't gardening and this isn't showing you a garden. This is why I'm saying gardening adjacent, but this was a big deal for us this month. This was something that needed to happen, and we were struggling by not having everything organized. So now that we have everything organized, I'm just so relieved, and I'm super, super excited. Now, in addition to gardening, another thing that I really love doing is I love woodworking. I love making things, and I really haven't had a good place to do that. And now we have this metal table. This metal table was here when we moved in. It's a extremely heavy table. Holy cow, it's so heavy. But it's the perfect table for woodworking. So I have my saw over there, and this is just the place that I can do all the woodworking stuff that I need to do. So I'm really excited, and I'm kind of making lists of all the projects that I want to get done in the winter. As the gardening season kind of winds down, I'm going to be doing more woodworking stuff, and I'm really, really excited about that. Now I have a place for it. Okay, and then coming over here, you can see more plants. These are our garden wagons that we like to use. We have an irrigation wagon that has all our irrigation supplies in it. That's my wagon that I usually take around, and I put my gardening bucket in, and then whatever supplies I need for the day. This is usually our plant wagon. Then we have these wheelbarrows that we transfer, like soil, compost, all that kind of stuff. I think it's ridiculous that we need this many wagons. I really truly think it's ridiculous, but I'm not kidding when I say we actually use every single one of these quite often. So it's almost like a parking lot for wagons and wheelbarrows here, but I mean, it's just necessary. It's very, very functional. So I wanted to take you over here, and I wanted to show you another thing that we've worked on. This was kind of like a baby project. It wasn't too hard. This is our back deck area, and we I had brought what I had at my last house here, and it just didn't quite fit. It didn't quite look very good. I wasn't happy with it. It didn't mesh with the style of this new home. And so I decided I wanted to change it up a little bit. And this is called a loggia, or a California room, where it's completely enclosed. So I thought it would be great to have some houseplants here. So I've potted up a bunch of different houseplants, and so far they're doing really, really well. They're super, super happy. Now, they're not going to be able to stay out here once we start getting really cold nights. I'll have to go put them in the greenhouse. But for now, it's kind of nice because it's so shady back here. It's kind of nice to have this kind of really lush green look that, you know, it just kind of livens the place up a little bit. And then I also added in this mirror right here, which is just fabulous. I love it. It brings so much light to the area. And then, of course, a place for our shoes. We always leave our shoes right here. This is where we go inside to get into our kitchen. And there was just always, like, literally constantly shoes sitting there. So having a shoe rack there is perfect. I know a lot of you were concerned about us storing our shoes outside. And yes, I totally get that, like for spiders and stuff like that. But we stored our shoes outside anyway, so might as well make them neat. I did want to show you the purple hyacinth bean that's growing. It grew really well on these two posts right here, but not as well as I wanted it to. Like, it's still coming up to the top, but I kind of imagined that it would kind of, you know, go all over the pergola. And I think that that's because it's just horrible, super compacted soil right here. So it tried its best. It did its best. I'll probably have to end up putting a pot there next year and growing it out of a pot. We are going to be extending out this patio. This patio is going to be extended out a little bit further this way, and then it's going to come all the way around. I hope I'm showing this well enough. All the way around and then connecting to my office right there. We have an October glory maple that's going to be planted right here. We're probably going to do that in the next week or two, because just yesterday we got this stump right here ground out. We used to have 2 palm trees back here when we moved in, and we knew we wanted to take them out because it just didn't really go with the property. So we finally ground out that stump. There's another stump in the dahlia bed right there that's just slowly disintegrating, and the October glory maple is going to go right here, which I'm super excited about. There is a variegated podocarpus that's going to go here, kind of, let me show you. Kind of here, right there, to kind of cap off the wood burning fireplace and kind of make this whole area a little bit more cozy, which I'm really, really excited about. So yeah, so that's looking really good. You guys, I can't believe how much we've done in the past month. Seriously, we got a lot done this month. I'm shocked. That's the awesome thing about videoing, taking pictures or videos of your garden as the year goes on. I literally started this garden tour thinking like, oh, we got a couple things done, but not really. No, we got a ton of stuff done this month. As I'm going around and I'm talking about everything that we did, man, we had a productive month. Okay, let me take you over here to the front of the office before I continue on with the garden. I wanted to show you all the signs of budworms that we have here. So I showed you in the front garden, the budworms have been attacking my superbena really, really bad. We just messed up with timing. I think we missed 2 weeks in a row of spraying BT, and it was a really, really bad 2 weeks to miss spraying BT. And so we definitely are seeing the signs of it. We're back on to spraying BT regularly right now. But you can kind of see the supertunias that I have back here. You can see how there's like green in between each bloom. That's not normal. That's not what supertunias are supposed to look like. They're supposed to be completely covered with blooms. And so if you see it like that, you might have budworms. You might want to think about the fact that you might have budworms. And budworms are so hard to see. They're so hard to see signs of it. You have to really, really look close. Sometimes you just have to kind of have faith that it's budworms, and you spray BT, and then all of a sudden 2 weeks later your plants flush out again and they look absolutely beautiful. So budworms, they like to eat the buds even before it opens up. So if you can kind of see here on my Tiara Pink, there's a bunch of just buds, just places where a flower should be, and it's just missing. And that's usually a sign of budworms. So very frustrating. We just screwed up with timing and stuff like that, got busy, and this is the sign. You know, it's usually at the end of the season when we're all kind of tired and we really don't want to do more stuff, and we kind of get a little lax about it, and then that's when the budworms attack. So we have gotten attacked. Make sure you spray your BT. I just want to show you this beautiful rose. This is Crown Princess Margareta. She is so beautiful, so beautiful. She's a climbing rose, and she's going to climb up this corner of my office, and I'm really, really excited for her to keep getting bigger and bigger because I just think that she is, oh, she's just fabulous right there. Moving on to the actual garden. This bed right here is where I grew dahlias from seed. It's been really, really fun to see all the different varieties of dahlias that have come up. They're just the most interesting, weirdest, just really, really cool dahlias. I don't know if I'm going to save any of them, any of the tubers. This was kind of just a fun thing for me to see how dahlias grow from seed, but I kind of want to have names to the dahlias that I'm growing, if that makes sense. And so I think I'm going to pull these, maybe give tubers to somebody and then replace them with more named dahlias so that I can say, oh, this is a blah, 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 right? So it's been really fun, but I kind of wish I had more names to the dahlias right here. Over here on this side, I ended up pulling a whole bunch of stuff out and planted sunflowers. And you can see where the birds got the sunflowers. They got all here, and then they must have gotten disturbed at the very end because I have sunflowers growing over there and no sunflowers growing here. I had pulled out a dahlia that I had grown from seed, and now it's growing back. Here, these dahlias right here, these were given to me by Kate David. So these are some of her neighbors' dahlias, and I can't wait them to start blooming. I'm really excited about it. And then one of you actually sent me Kell lily bulbs, and I didn't really have a good place to put them. So I ended up just putting them here temporarily, and I was hoping that they were going to sprout some foliage so that I could plant them somewhere else next year, and they did. They're looking really, really good. So I'm excited about those. They're supposed to be like this beautiful black color, and she said they're award-winning. So I'm excited to have those. Then I have a bed completely full of zinnias, which we've been picking on, and it's really fun. This is just so beautiful. I don't know what any of the names are. I mean, I kind of do. They're all Benaries, and I'm pretty sure this is Benaries wine, I think. I don't know, but they're very, very pretty, and it's been really, really fun to have that. Then more zinnias here. We have a Monty. This is my veggie garden. It's been so incredibly prolific. I'm about ready to give up because I have you can see, look at my tomato. This is, what is this one? Sun Gold. Look at this, you guys. It just is the most prolific tomato plant. We have been picking on these, and it can't even hold itself up anymore. It absolutely can't hold itself up anymore. It's just crazy. We have a cucumber right here that I've picked a bunch of cucumbers for it, but they all just taste a little bitter. This is called Burpless. And I thought that would make it less bitter, but I don't know. I'm just not good at growing cucumbers, I think. And then a zucchini, of course, that's been so prolific and crazy. Over here, we have the jelly bean cherry tomato. Not prolific at all. Definitely not anywhere compared to the Sun Gold. So I don't think I'm going to grow that one anymore. And then I have some red peppers, and then I have some winter squash, which I have harvested a ton off of them as well. Butternut squash, excuse me, I should say, right there. So very successful, almost a little too successful, which I know is like, what do you call it? A humble brag, right? But it's been a lot in just these 2 beds of veggies. It's been a lot of veggies, which has been awesome. So I'm sure you can see back here and you're thinking, what are they doing? Well, it's amending time. So we have terrible Terrible, terrible soil back here. Absolutely horrible soil back here. And I have plans to plant things back here. I'm going to have a pathway to the chicken coop over there, and I want to be planting a whole bunch of stuff here. I have a hedge of ligustrum that I'm going to be planting right here to block the water tank, and then a whole bunch of crepe myrtles behind the greenhouse to kind of have a nice, beautiful backdrop behind the greenhouse. But to do that, I want to first amend the soil. So we got our first shipment of compost. We only got 2 yards, which, yeah, that's not enough. I'm going to have to be getting, I was trying not to over purchase, but obviously I need way, way more. So this was 2 yards of compost. We just spread this out the other day. And I'm going to need to buy probably like 10 more yards of compost and spread it all over. So this technique is called the no-till method. And basically, instead of coming back here and tilling all this soil before I planted it, I'm just putting 6 inches of compost right on top of the soil, just right on top of everything. And then I'll come back in with wood chips and put wood chips on top of it. And it truly makes such a difference to the soil. It just, oh my goodness, it just adding this organic matter. First of all, you can never add enough organic matter to your soil. That it makes such a huge difference. And just having the life that this compost has helps break up the hard compacted soil underneath it. And truly, it makes such a huge difference. And I can say that now because I tried it this past year in my orchard garden, and it really, really has made an absolute huge difference. So we need to get more compost, and we're going to spread it all behind here. I think I have these plants coming in 2 weeks. So we have a little bit of time, but not much time. We're kind of in that mode of fall planting, but there's a ticking clock basically, because you want to get all your plants planted well before 6 weeks before your first frost, so they have plenty of time to root in. So we're just trying to time it where it's not too hot, but then they have enough time to root in, you know, all that kind of stuff. So we're kind of right in the sweet spot right now. I have all of these annuals, these Supertunia Vista bubblegum and Playing the Blues salvia and some lemon coral sedum here, and I think I'm taking them all out. I was planning just to leave them in to see if they would come back, but I think I want to amend all of this soil because this soil is terrible, terrible. I have actually lost some Supertunia Vista bubblegum, and I know it's because of drainage. I don't know if you guys can see with the sun, but I'll come back here and there's basically like standing water right there. And if you see standing water in a hole, if it's there longer than like an hour or two, you basically have really bad drainage. And I know I have really bad drainage because when I was planting this guy, it was like clay. So I think I'm going to start using some gypsum back here. I'm definitely going to be adding some compost, and I'm just going to be working on it as much as I can. And just trying to get it just to be a little bit better so things are a little bit happier back here. You can see they grew, they were fine, you know, but I'm just thinking long term. I'm just thinking once I start planting shrubs and stuff, I'm going to want better soil. And so that's what we're going to be working on this winter. Now, the other thing we're going to be working on this winter is our greenhouse. So we got this greenhouse last winter. We got it all set up. We got the flooring in. It's beautiful. I love it. If you're wondering what that noise is, it's this. I try and clean up the dog toys before I film, but he just brings them out. It's like he wants to show you guys them. So that's what that noise is, just so you know. It's the most annoying ball ever, but he loves it. He loves it. So my friend Nicholas, what was I saying? One of the things we need to do is we need to work on the greenhouse. We got the greenhouse all set up last winter, January, February-ish, and we got it all ready to go, and then it started getting too hot to be in here. So I've kind of just left it all season, but now that it's cooling down, I'm getting really excited to get in there. My friend Nicholas from Ohio, he has the most beautiful greenhouse, which is exactly what I want my greenhouse to be like. And so he's giving me plans to build shelves to kind of go all around the sides. So I'm going to be working on that for woodworking. And then of course I'm going to refinish this table in here. I think I'm going to push the table back, and just make this such a beautiful, gorgeous greenhouse. I mean, Nicholas had like a candle lit and he had like a fan in there, and it was just such a beautiful place to be in his greenhouse. I'll link his video. I did a garden tour of his garden and greenhouse. I'll link that down below. It was just such a beautiful, nice place to be in. That's exactly how I want my greenhouse to be, especially over the winter time when we all want somewhere to be in the garden when it's rainy outside and kind of yucky outside. So that is something that is going to be coming up. Monty is just making a mess in the compost. Oh, buddy, what am I going to do with you, huh? So Monty, the other thing that happened this month, Monty, he got neutered. He's a year old and he got neutered, and he was supposed to relax for 2 weeks. That didn't last at all. He's fine. The incision is completely fine now, but oh my gosh, that was hard to keep him calm for 2 weeks. I wanted to show you all the girls. They're doing really well. Hi, girls. Hello. How are you? Hi, girls. So these are our silky chickens. They're very, very happy. They're messy. When we give them watermelon, their whole face gets completely messy and gross, so we need to clean them, but they're very, very happy chickens. Still no eggs. A lot of you told me it's going to be like a year to get all the eggs, so I'm going to be patient, but they're just so cute. And then I wanted to show you my Vigo beds. The Vigo beds are looking good. We still have this issue right here of the drainage. So we put our Vigo beds on concrete because we have this concrete, I don't know, what do you call it, patio right here. And it's totally fine to put them on there, but you can see what happens with the drainage. So what we're going to do is we're going to be putting gravel, the 3/8 inch decomposed granite. We're going to be putting that all across here to kind of cover up the drainage. I think it'll look really, really pretty as well. But I did want to show you all what happens when you put Vigo beds. These are bottomless beds. And I did put landscape fabric. I lined them underneath with landscape fabric, but you can still see what happens. I have no idea why this one doesn't drain. I have no idea, but the other 3 drain. So anyway, it's fine. This one over here, I did plant some romaine and it's starting to come. I direct seeded it. My family loves romaine. The chickens love romaine. The bunnies love romaine. So I'm going to be planting, I think this is going to be my whole romaine bed for the cool season veggies. And then finally, let me show you the secret garden. This is another place that I've been working on. The secret garden was supposed to be my secret shade garden, but it is not a shade garden. And so I'm still thinking of what I'm going to call this garden now that it's not a secret shade garden anymore. It still looks really pretty. It's just not a shade garden. Okay, so here's the garden, and you can kind of see the area right next to the house is definitely shaded, but the area away from the house is definitely not shaded. And as the sun gets higher in the sky, it's still not completely shaded. So I ended up taking a ton of plants out, kind of cleaned the area out this past month. And I'm really glad I did that because it was kind of like a fresh start to see where I was at. I replanted, I had some hostas right here and here. I took those out. I actually put them in the Vigo beds for temporary storage while I decided what I was going to put here. And I put these Niagara Falls panicum. I'm obsessed with this grass. It's so beautiful. It's going to get like 4x4. I really like the grasses on either side of the fountain right there. I think that's really pretty. Yes, this is what Monty does. And I'm just kind of like figuring out this garden bed right now and figuring out what I want to do with it, because I don't know. I'm not totally sure. I'm still loving the living fences. This is Clematis armandii, and this is going to grow all over, and I'm going to have 2 living fences on either side of this garden, which is why I'm calling it my secret garden. So I'm still loving that. I think that that's going to be absolutely beautiful. But as for how I'm going to be planting up this area, I'm not totally sure yet. I'm not sure, and I need to sit down and I need to think about it and I need to figure it out. And yes, we need a new fence. That is on the list. But you know, we've come really far. This was absolutely nothing when we started off a year ago. I mean, absolutely nothing. And we have a beautiful pathway and a fountain and some garden beds that have been amended. So I'm happy with that we've got at least gotten that far. And then very last, I have my hedge of summerific hibiscus ballet slippers. I love this. It's just, there was nothing here before along this fence. I had no plans for anything along this fence. So I ended up getting a whole bunch of bare roots of the ballet slippers summerific hibiscus from Walter's Gardens. And I planted them out and they're just perfect here. I love them. They're still growing in. They're going to get much bigger than this, which I'm excited about. And I just think that they're beautiful. Now, the problem is that they're deciduous. They're going to die back to the ground over winter. So I have been sowing from seed. I've been growing them from seed some foxgloves. And so I'm going to be interspersing foxgloves here. So I'll have foxgloves during the winter. And then during the summer, I'll have the ballet slippers. And I think that's going to be really, really beautiful. So I'm excited about this. And it's just a nice green backdrop, I would say, as opposed to a black, ugly fence. So yeah, that's it for the September back garden tour. I have to say, I'm super proud of Jason and I. I feel like we've gotten a lot done in the past couple months. We've just been like kind of checking things off our list. And I have a vision. I have a plan of how I want this garden to look, the back garden specifically. And I feel like we're getting there. We are on the right track, which is so much fun. And it's so much fun to have you all come along with us and to see the process and kind of cheer us on. So a huge thank you for that. So I say it all the time. I can't say it enough. Get your camera out, get your phone out, go take pictures of your garden. Even in September, as your garden's starting to go to sleep, just take pictures so that you can reflect back on the past month, because it really does give you a whole bunch of motivation that you are getting stuff done and it is going somewhere. So anyway, I hope you all enjoyed this and I hope you all have a chance to get in your garden today.